Hi guys, we are back in a new spot today. Yes, I have moved you once again. You're over there, now you're over here. But I wanted to have a space where I could put some of my art behind me, and my house is very small and full of shit right now. So this was what I came up with. I've got my man behind me, my Fiona tapestry, that's from Devout Hand. And this is from the game called Who's Lila, which I'm gonna do a whole video essay on soon as I'm done writing the script. But today we're gonna talk about two things. The first thing is my new ChiaoGoo needle set. Very pricey, scary purchase. We're gonna talk about it. The second thing is, it's behind me, you can't see it yet, is the back of my Frederick Nietzsche sweater and one sleeve. And I'm excited to show you the progress. So let's go through it. Let's talk about everything together. Okay, so I purchased this a couple of weeks ago, and this was a hefty $230. Now, before you think that I'm made out of money, I'm fucking money bags over here, I'm not, okay? I used Afterpay like a responsible adult. Although I think most people would say Afterpay is not responsible, but whatever, it doesn't matter, okay? I'm making payments on knitting needles. So the big conversation a few weeks ago was that knitting needles were going to go up because of tariffs, specifically the ChiaoGoo knitting needles that I use constantly. And my yarn store also confirmed this, that they were going to be raising their prices. So because of that, I knew that I needed to go ahead, dive in, and grab the new case, the actual case. Get down! Oh my God, my cat is trying to wreck my home. So the full set includes all of the sizes, and that pretty much means that it starts at a US 2 and it ends at a US 15. Because I do so many different projects and it's constantly changing depending on what I'm doing, I really needed the full set. Now, for years, I had just been buying the single packs of ChiaoGoo needles, and I would consistently buy the same size accidentally, over and over, because I couldn't find that pair. And I'm kind of a rat at my house, and that's why I couldn't find them, because I'm a rat. Say hi, say hello. Now, I previously had a couple of pairs of knitting needle sets that were way cheaper. One was bamboo and one was a form of metal, not carbon, but I think aluminum maybe, whereas these are carbon, I believe. But two things. The first one was a set of green needles. I was so excited because green is my favorite color, and the case looks so cool. I received it, beautiful green needles, and pretty rapidly, I think within a few hours, the green came off the needles, and then they were just brown, which, look, that's okay. I'm still gonna use the needles. I still use them for sleeves, especially if I need something that's grippier, and bamboo or wood is really good for that. But it just annoyed me so much, because why wouldn't you say that? Maybe they did say that. I don't know. I don't want to blame the company. I just was frustrated with that. So I had that one, and then I had the original set which I bought, which was a pair of aluminum needles. And this was a bad idea because I have dysgraphia, and dysgraphia it's a lot of things, but it's a form of a learning disability that basically affects my grip. So I bend knitting needles like crazy, and I'm not a tight knitter, even though a lot of people think that's what causes it. I also break pens and pencils when I write, and I can't write for really more than a paragraph. So the knitting needle has to be just right to prevent myself from literally bending it. I will be knitting, I look down, I'm like, why does this feel like this? And it's bent into the shape of my fist. It's curved, it's like that. And I don't know, it really annoys me, and it makes me frustrated with myself, even though I can't control it. It is what it is. Now, I've never had any issues ever with ChiaoGoo needles, and I spent a long time just using needles that I got at the thrift store, Goodwill, eBay, plastic needles, thrifted needles for years, and it wasn't until I got to, I'd graduated and I had a real job, and then I was able to afford these. And it's also not something that you have to have. I never want people to watch these videos and feel like, well, I have to have all this stuff to do what you do. You absolutely do not. You can knit on a pair of chopsticks. I mean, twigs from you found outside. You might want to sand them down, but you get my point. You don't have to have the most expensive tools and things. And honestly, you should just use what makes you happy and what you can afford. This is not meant to be an expensive craft, but I do work like 50, 60 hours a week and sometimes no days off for weeks. So I feel like I should be able to use that money towards things that make me actually happy because work doesn't. So yeah, that's why I don't know I'm explaining this purchase to you, but I always feel like on the internet you have to explain yourself. So here I am doing that. Let's talk about what's in the case, and let's talk about how I feel about these knitting needles after having used the full set for about 2 to 3 weeks now. Okay, so your full case comes with all of your needles in individual pouches. They look like this, okay? The first time I filmed this, like a real, I filmed it like that, they all fell out, which reminded me of that one influencer who had all the Gucci Christmas balls, which don't even get me started on that. And she was like, look at them. And of course they all fell out. And she was like, what? I felt so stupid. And then I felt like bad for judging her, but whatever. Moving on, not related. So they all come in these pouches, pretty standard, pretty standard. You get a plastic insert card, which I know plastic, but I'm not gonna lie, paper I just lose. It is nice to have the actual like plastic reference guide. This shows you how to use all the tools, and the back shows you the interchangeable systems for the links, metric versus US. It's so annoying to have different systems. And then you zip it up. It's a very like flexible little case, which is, I think that's nice. It's not hard. I don't really like the hard cases. I do like a bit of flexibility. And then in your pouch right here, you have your cords. So you have small and large cords, depending on what needle size you're using. You have a little, somewhat flimsy measure that you use this to measure, like if you don't know your needles, this is how you measure the sizes. I've never needed to use one of these, but I have it. You have some plastic stitch holders. These are very cute, but I am really trying to stay away from plastic as much as I can, but I will just try not to lose these at all and keep them so that at least I'm not wasting plastic. You know, maybe this will go down to some random queer kid because I'm not having kids, so I'll try and keep this in place for whoever gets this, assuming the world hasn't burned down. It probably will be by the time I'm freaking 50. Also, you get this little case. You can't see anything in here, but it has the T-pins. Those are what you tighten. A little plastic grippy pad, which is really good to hold the needle when you tighten. End stoppers and additional tools to connect cables so you can make a really long cable if you need to, which I do because I am a like 2X. So oftentimes I need a longer cable. So that is nice. My biggest complaint is that this is a fucking ugly case. I'm sorry, this is ugly as shit. And I'm so sorry if someone out there loves this case. I'm sorry. But let's be real. This is not me. I don't know whose style this is. My mother's maybe. No offense, Mom. This reminds me of Vera Bradley. And if you grew up in a southern small town, college town, small-ish town, everybody had Vera Bradley. And it was so ugly. I had one. Like, I was there. So I'm dissing myself. Nobody get mad. I've heard that they make cuter stuff now, but it is very much reminds me of that. So I'm going to decorate this case. I'm not sure how. I'm thinking about sewing a different cover and then sewing felted pieces on here. I have an idea. I have a plan. A plan is in the works. Who knows when that'll happen, but it will happen because this is ugly and I don't want an ugly case. One of the biggest complaints I get from people is that I'm too critical. And I guess I'm just a certified hater. What can I say? I always find something to complain about, but I'm just being honest with you. I'm sorry. Besides that, this is everything I expected it to be. ChiaoGoo is amazing. Like I said, I've been using the needles for years, so I knew exactly what I was getting myself into with this set. Also, I really like that ChiaoGoo interchangeables. I have not had any issues with them coming undone, and I've used them for probably 20 or more hours since I bought this. So, and I haven't had to tighten them a single time. Every other interchangeable needle set I've had to tighten them throughout the project. Now, with interchangeable needles, it is a good idea to periodically check, no matter how much you trust the needles, and I still do that. So I'm not expecting it to be perfect. I mean, it is a system that works the best that it can, but I do think that, you know, just keep an eye on it. But as far as interchangeable needles go, this has been amazing. Amazing. So I would buy it again if I was in the past and I needed to buy it. I think it was a good choice. I think it was a good purchase. And I knit every single day unless I'm sick. And I knit for 5 or more hours when I do knit. So for me, this is an investment in my craft and things I do. So sometimes you got to spend money to invest in something that really works for you, that doesn't give you hand pain, and that you don't break. So that's where we are with this. If you've stayed this long, you know what time it is. It's time to see the Nietzsche sweater and how it's going. And I'm so excited because it's going good. Okay, so here's the front. You've probably already seen this. I'll put up a picture. And this is kind of the test collar I was doing. I may change it, but it's a folded rib collar. I'm not super happy about how I picked up those stitches, so I probably will change it. Well, I don't know. We'll see. I'm not a perfectionist, and I try to be as much as I can, but I hate being a perfectionist. I think I'd never get anything done if everything had to be perfect. So we got one sleeve. I know it's a big sleeve, okay? And when I say big, because it is wider than the ratio you would normally have for my size, a 2X. But I wanted the sleeves to be kind of balloony, not super, but a little balloony, because it's such a weird word, sorry. I don't think that's actually a word. But I wanted that because I really like the idea of this being a sweater that you're reading in, right? It's super comfy, cozy. I don't want the sleeves touching me. I hate sleeves touching me. And I made the sleeve shorter, as I always do, because I hate the sleeves touching my wrists and getting in the way. We have the other sleeve on the way. This is with the ChiaoGoo interchangeable needles. I started Severance. So I finished this sleeve watching the first 6 episodes of Severance. And look, I didn't want to watch it because here's the thing. Okay, when everybody says to watch something, I get so annoyed. I'm like, I'm never going to watch that. I don't know what that is. Don't need to know what that is. But finally, I saw an edit on TikTok, and that convinced me. I was like, what am I doing? I need to watch Severance. So I did. And yeah, it's really good. And it kind of matches with everything I'm interested in. So you all win. You've won. I'm trying not to be obsessed with it, because then you know what's going to happen. I'm going to have to make a sweater for it. And I'm thinking about it right now. I want to make a sweater for it, but I need to finish the 2nd season. So just bear with me. Okay, and here's the back. It's the back of the book. I can't see if you saw, but I'll put a picture in here so you can actually see it. But I've even got, none of the ends are woven in. Who did you think you were watching? Come on. The barcode. Now this is not blocked. There's quite a bit of extra ease to be blocked out, especially with the shaping I did. So I'm pretty confident this will fit. I mean, I did my usual gauge swatch, everything lined up like it was supposed to. And as far as like edits I've done a little bit of hip shaping. So it's a little wider on my hips, and then a little slightly smaller right here on the arms. And that was mostly to avoid doing a drop shoulder. I love a good drop shoulder, but with color work, I don't always like it, because then your color work is hanging off the shoulder and it doesn't always translate as well. So, you know, I think it's good so far. I mean, it's got like a little bit of a drop shoulder, but I mean, the design is pretty much right there. So I'm very happy with it. And I am making a new website. I'm so excited. I'm using ReadyMag, not sponsored, and I'm doing something cool. I'm doing something cool, that's all I have to say. And when I'm finished with that, this graph will be up there for free. All my graphs are free. I'd like to keep it that way. I have a tip jar if you want to help me out, but you know, if not, it's cool too. It's cool too. Yeah, so since the last time you saw me, that's what I've done so far. And then I also did the Fiona one, which is Devout Hands pattern. And then William from Who's Lila. And I did a super fun video on that, which got like no views, and it took me forever in 7 different softwares. So if you want to go check out the short I made for that, you could. I just wanted to do something fun. I've been having so much fun, like doing like dithered gifts, crushing, all that stuff is so fun. Oh my God. But I refuse to pay for After Effects right now. I know that I should probably just get After Effects, but here's the thing that really pisses me off. You're telling me I buy this software and then I still have to pay you every month, and the software isn't even mine? That shit makes me so mad. Like, on principle, I don't want to buy it. But, you know, the world is what it is. It's a cruel place where you have to buy After Effects, apparently. So, I don't know. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this. I hope it was informative for you. My doggy wants to go outside. He said I'm done. So, next time, hopefully next video will be the Who's Lila video essay, but I'm not sure. We'll see. If not, hopefully it'll definitely be about finishing this. I'm so close. So, hopefully you enjoyed this, and I will see you next time. Let me know down in the comments thoughts you have, any considerations, your experiences with ChiaoGoo noodles, any of that. So until then, have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time.